Hi everyone, I'm back with chapter 3 of A Mouse Called Wolf. I have Franco here with me. Hopefully will be quiet long enough for me to get through the chapter. Chapter 3, A Song. Wolf was even more delighted when his 12 brothers and sisters left home. For some time, Mary Mouse's milk supply had been dwindling, and the pups had become used to accompanying their mother on their nightly scrounge. Well, a couple of big words in that sentence. Accompanying means you're going with someone, and a scrounge is when you're looking for something, kind of hunting around. Maybe you scrounge in the cupboard for a snack. Around the house, they would go in the wee hours of the night, especially to the kitchen and the dining room. They traveled by a system of mouseways, searching the floors and tables and cupboards for anything edible. Soon the bolder ones stopped coming back to the hole by the piano leg, and before long it was only Wolf who returned home. He felt safer with his mother, and she was pleased to have him still at home with her. He, in turn, was pleased that she had become used to hearing the others use his shortened name, and now, too, did so, only addressing him as Wolfgang Amadeus if she was angry with him, which was seldom. All through the first weeks of his life, Wolf had been used to hearing the sound of the piano, for the lady of the house played every day. The other pups grumbled at the music. "What a racket," they muttered to one another. "How are we expected to get a good day's sleep?" But Wolf grew to like the noise very much, and now, alone, Mary slept through it, he began to listen carefully to the melodies. The lady usually played her piano twice each day, in the late morning and then again in the early evening. The evening recital was the one Wolf enjoyed most, because by then he was rested and awake. He began sitting in the mouth of the hole by the piano leg and listening to the music above his head. He found that even when the playing stopped, he could still hear a particular tune inside his head, and he would hum it to himself in a kind of silent hum as he followed his mother about on the night's foraging. "I wish mice could sing," he said to his mother, "instead of just squeaking. I'd love to be able to sing." Mary had not had a very successful scavenge and was tired and hungry. "Mice? Sing?" she cried. "Don't be such a stupid child, Wolfgang Amadeus." Now she's annoyed at me, thought Wolf, and he said no more of the subject. But he couldn't stop thinking about it. The next day, in fact, he actually dreamed that he was singing. When he awoke, it was early afternoon, a time he had known it when the lady of the house always had a little nap after her lunch. Mary Mouse was also fast asleep, so Wolf crept quietly out of the mouse hole, scaled the piano leg, walked along the keyboard, and sat down on middle C, just below the elegant lettering that said Steinway and Sons. He sat there thinking of a particular tune. It was a favorite of the ladies, and she often played it, so he knew it by heart. If only mice could sing, thought Wolf. Now is the perfect moment. Here is the perfect place, and this is the perfect song for me, he sighed. "Ah, me," he said. "Perhaps, though I can't sing it, I could try to squeak it." And he threw back his head and opened his mouth. Then, to his total surprise, out of that little mouth came a high, clear, lovely little voice that sang every note of the melody to perfection. Wolf was singing like a bird. except no songbird in the world could have sung as beautifully. La, 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 he caroled, for of course he knew no words to the music, but it did not matter, for by chance the piece he had chosen was from a book of song. The song was from a book of folk tunes by Mendelssohn called Songs Without Words. Long and loudly sang Wolf, repeating the melody again and again in the ecstasy of discovery that to say mice could not sing was not entirely true. One mouse could, but before he finally fell silent, others in the house were awakened by his long, loud solo. Mary came out of a deep sleep and her hole and climbed the piano leg. Her mouth fell open in utter amazement, but no sound came from it. In various holes in various rooms, Wolf's brothers and sisters grumbled at this strange noise that had awakened them. Snoozing on her bed, the lady of the house thought she heard somewhere downstairs a familiar tune by Mendelssohn, decided she'd been dreaming, and went back to sleep. But there was one pair of ears in the kitchen that caught the sound of Wolf's singing and aroused in their owner a certain curiosity. The cat jumped out of its bed beside the stove and stretched, spreading its claws wide before padding silently toward the living room. We'll have to wait till tomorrow to see what happens next. What do you think is going to happen next? Wolf found his singing voice, but that voice awakened the cat.